Good morning. Much, much better. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another installment of New York City Builds Bio Plus. I'm Mitch Simpler, partner and managing partner emeritus of Jarvis Bauman Bowles, and also co-founder of New York City Builds Bio with Nancy Kelly. Today is our fourth annual Life Science Symposium. It's hard to believe, and I want to welcome back all of our current members, as well as simply welcome our first-timers as well. I've said this many times before to most of you, and I meant it. 4 years ago, when Nancy Kelly and I discussed the need for a group of like-minded individuals, such as New York City Builds Bio Plus, to pull together a diverse group of individuals to form an industry group of who's who and whose sole purpose was to bridge the knowledge and communication gaps between the New York real estate community, the research and life science community, the brokerage community, and finally, the design professional community. Who knew then that it would have become the success that it has become today? Even in these most challenging times, our last quarterly breakfast was incredibly well attended, as is today's symposium, with well upwards of 200 people registered to participate. So it is my privilege and honor to welcome all of you who are already members back to today's New York City Builds Bio Symposium, and for our guest and prospective members who are visiting us for the first time, just welcome. I would be remiss if I did not thank our founding as well as sustaining corporate member firms, which include Jarvis Bauman Bowles, Fried Frank, Hunter Roberts, Sabi Corporation, and last but certainly not least, Nancy J. Kelly and Associates. And a special thanks to all of our event sponsors for today's symposium, all of whom will be highlighted shortly hereafter. We have a jam-packed agenda, so sit back, get ready for one heck of a ride. It is now my pleasure to introduce the MC for today's event and my co-founder, Ms. Nancy Kelly. Nancy and her step stool.
I need my step stool. I'm very short. So I want to echo Mitch's welcome here. It's been a long year and a half, and this is our first major in-person event. So we're really excited to be here, and we're really excited to have all of you here with us. As Mitch said, we have a jam-packed event. I also want to thank our steering committee, which is the principals of each of the founding members that Mitch just mentioned, as well as the Berman Group, our team at the Berman Group. This group of individuals puts in a lot of time every year to make this organization run, and so I want to thank them, first. Obviously, putting on an event like this, just post-pandemic, is not easy, and so really appreciate everything that's been done. I want to thank our symposium sponsors and partners. We have 3 platinum sponsors, JBB, Lendlease, and Zetlin and DiChiara. We have a gold sponsor, Simone Healthcare. Our silver sponsors are Taconic, Lyra, Skanska. We have a lanyard sponsor, which is First Republic, and the bag giveaway sponsor is LPE PMA. For the first time, we also have the life science companies in some of the incubators joining us today. And this is a big step forward because our members, a lot of them are from the real estate community, and they're interested in understanding the life science industry, what life sciences is, and also what kind of space and services do these companies need. So getting them here to participate will help you to understand that better, and they can understand what resources you all can offer them when they get ready to graduate from their incubator space and need step-out space of 10 to 15,000 square feet, and then the next step beyond that is often 25 to 50,000, and you can grow with them. And so we have, I think, 10 exhibitor incubators downstairs with some of their resident companies ready to talk to you, so please visit them during your coffee breaks. Also want to thank the New York City Economic Development Corporation, who is our program partner every year, our media partners, Commercial Observer and the Wall Street Journal, and all of our association partners for supporting our efforts and this meeting in particular. This meeting, as Mitch said, we started in 2018. It was our first symposium. It was held at the Academy of Sciences, the New York Academy of Sciences at the World Trade Center. And we had 275 people there. It was sold out. Everyone said it wouldn't work because real estate people don't stay at meetings for more than an hour, and the scientists won't talk to the real estate community. But we made it a day of envisioning how we can imagine New York using biology, and everyone came and they stayed all day, and then there was a reception and everyone had a great time. So in 2019, we formed a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which is NYC Builds Bio, and we have been putting on events and educational programs and sponsoring leadership committees and other activities throughout the year to really grow the life science industry in New York and beyond. In 2019, we moved to the Times Center for the first time. We had 350 people that year and a range of speakers. We also introduced for the first time the 7 subclusters for life sciences that are forming throughout New York City. In 2018, when we started, there were only 3 projects in the entire city that were private that we could talk about: Alexandria Center for Life Sciences, the New York Genome Center, and the New York Stem Cell Foundation. And now we have 7 subclusters growing around the city. You're going to hear about them today, with major developments underway in all of them. And so this is progress, and it's very exciting. In 2020, obviously, we were virtual over a 3-day period, 1 half day each, but we had 54 speakers, and every segment of the industry was represented, from developers to building owners to academic medical centers to venture capitalists to the incubators to startup companies to mid-sized companies to companies who had just gone public. So it was quite the conversation, even though we couldn't meet in person. And now we're back. We are back in person for the first time. And this year, we are broadening out a little bit to the greater New York metropolitan area, which includes Southern Connecticut, Eastern New Jersey, and Westchester. And the reason for that is twofold. In May, the New York City Planning Department put out a brand new report which had very exciting news. They basically showed that the greater New York metropolitan area, which includes those geographic locations I just mentioned, is the largest life science economy in the country, far exceeding San Francisco and Boston on almost every metric, as well as the other subclusters throughout the country. And that's news, because when you read the broker's report, you basically see that New York and New Jersey kind of show up number 8 or 9. But the truth is, when it's combined as a MSA, or Metropolitan Statistical Area, this is a powerhouse, and it's really a supercluster forming. The other reason for looking at the broader metro area is that there is a lot of federal funding that could be coming down the pike with some new pieces of legislation that have been passed recently, as well as federal initiatives that are currently underway. And these initiatives are targeted toward regions, not one specific geographic area. So it is time for us as a New York region to think strategically about how we can position ourselves and our industry so that we are the recipient of some of those funds and can build the infrastructure and the industry even further. So we've got a great agenda today, starting out with the broader picture, looking at some of the public the billions of dollars in public monies that are flowing into the industry over the last 5 years from the federal, state, and local level, and then moving to the private sector, looking at the private macro trends that are driving the industry, and then diving deep into the subclusters in New York City and some of the bridge markets, Brooklyn, Long Island, Jersey City, Newark, up to Westchester, through the Bronx, and down to southern Connecticut. So we hope that you'll all enjoy yourselves. We have coffee throughout the day. The coffee stations are right next to the exhibitor booths. Please visit our membership booth. About half of the people registered today are not members yet, and so we welcome you and encourage you to join our community. So there's information out there, and then we have lunch, and there's a reception at the end where we can all catch up with each other. So thank you for being here, and one more thing, or a couple of things, actually. Obviously, we are still coming out of the pandemic. Thank you all for complying with the vaccination requirement. There's also a mask requirement in the building unless you're speaking or actively eating and drinking. So please respect that. We do have our own internet line. Let me see, where did I put the password for that? The handle is Marmarino, and the password is orange, all lowercase, 21. So please feel free to jump on that so you can keep up with your emails as they come through. Okay, we'll start with our first panel now.